What is actually going on, Virgo? It's Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct once again, and this is going to be your general reading. This is going to be the reading for January 28th through the 31st. Now that is a very short time span for a reading, and I know this, Virgo. I also know that I did not get your monthly reading to you on time from the 15th to the 31st, and I don't even know why that happened. I can't tell you why that happened, Virgo. For real. It was crazy. Hectic times, I guess. But I'm getting your reading out to you now, and what I'm going to do is do this little 4-day reading for you that'll just cover closing out the month of January for you. And then you and Libra are going to be first in line for me to do the monthly readings for February from the 1st to the 15th. So you'll get this reading kind of like as a makeup and a bonus, and then right after that I'm going to get another reading out to you that's going to be talking about the energies for February, right? So first, let's wrap up your month of January, and then we're going to move on from there and see what you guys are doing on the next reading for February, right? Okay? This is a general reading, so it may not resonate with everybody. If it does not resonate with you, do me a favor. Check out one of my previous readings for Virgo or one of my futuristic readings that will be coming up soon. If it does resonate with you, you can like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things that let me know you're watching and it helps you in some type of way. Other than that, I'm going to get into the reading. Also, though, I've been letting all the signs know that my Instagram is up, so you guys can check out my Instagram. That's going to be in the description of this video. You know, if you want to see some behind the scenes of me, then you can check me out on my Instagram. Other than that, my personal readings are open to you guys, so if you want to check me out for a more direct experience, you can email me about that, and we'll set up a personal reading for you, Virgo. Let's go. Present energies right here. We'll be talking about that soon, and then after that, we're going to get into your futuristic energies right along here. That'll be talking about going into February, pretty much just a glimpse. Just a glimpse. Crowning your reading, Virgo, you have the Three of Swords. Now, this was in your last reading that I did for you. So once again, it's a reiteration, but maybe we have another take on it. So the Three of Swords usually represents some type of heartbreak. But what I'm seeing, Virgo, with you guys is that there is a transformation that's happening, right? It's a transformation of your mind, though. But this transformation of your mind is going to directly affect your heart space. And you're working on it right now. You've been working through it. Maybe one of the reasons why I couldn't even get through to you guys for a reading. But you're having heart surgery at the moment. You know, and this heart surgery is not like the heart surgery that usually happens when we see the Three of Swords. Usually it's talking about your heart space, right? Your heart chakra. It is, and we are talking about your heart chakra now, but it's more having to do about how your mind affects your heart space, right? How you cause heartbreak, right? You know, within the battleground of the mind. And so I think at this moment in time, the universe is kind of showing you a little bit about the way that you think, right? The way that you think about past hurts or past trauma, you know, or the way you view some of the things that you have to deal with that may have came from the past, right? Maybe some of the weaknesses that you have, or some of your fears, or whatever it is that kind of you believe that kind of plague you a little bit. You know, I think it happens within your heart space and within your mind. But right now, I feel like you're having this certain type of surgery that's happening within your you know, mental world, and it's greatly affecting your heart chakra, opening it up a little bit, right? Because you're starting to view things a lot differently. You're getting a new perspective, which is why we have the Ace of Swords. That is your clarifier for the Three of Swords. The Ace of Swords represents the evolution of your mind. It represents a new beginning of a way of thinking, a change, a shift in the way of thinking. It could be very well a paradigm shift that's happening inside of your mind. And this paradigm shift that you're having is kind of like the tool that you're unearthing that you're going to be able to use to kind of like contend for the battleground of your mind. That's what I'm kind of seeing. I'm seeing like a battleground of your mind. And this has to do with the way you balance your thoughts, the way thoughts come into your mind, and it's kind of like you're doing a certain clearing of your mental space, like all of the places in your mental world that kind of was just out of balance, that's kind of like not in order, not cleaned up, you know, maybe because you didn't give it a lot of attention in the past, maybe because, you know, it could have been a certain amount of laziness that happened. You know, a lot of times when we're upgrading our mind, we start to see that a lot of times our mind is running on autopilot because we haven't brought the light of consciousness into that place in our mind, right? For instance, let's say if you're into motivation, a lot of times you'll hear motivational speakers, they'll talk about a broken record that plays in your mind. And it's kind of like the story of your life. It's like the theme of you. And it's always playing in the background. And maybe it has played for so long in your life that you probably don't even notice it, because there's so much that happens within our mind that happens on autopilot. It happens subconsciously. And we just go about our day in a certain frame of mind and we're kind of like hearing this same music, the same tune, this same stream of thoughts that continually comes in our mind. And until we kind of like shine the light of consciousness and awareness on it, we don't even know that it's happening, and we don't even know that it's making us be who we are and affecting the way we live and affecting our way of being, until we shine the light on that. Now, I feel like during this time, closing out the end of January, you're finding that flashlight. And this is what this sword represents to me. It represents a flashlight that's piercing a certain level of darkness that was happening in your mental world, a certain level of autopilot that has been playing in the background in your mental world for a while. But now it's kind of like you're picking up this flashlight, like, wait, what is this? Wait a minute. Click, you turn it on, and you just start to shine some light in these areas of your thinking that is going to shift the way you think. And that's going to like change up the way that you actually feel at the same time, especially when it comes down to your heart space, when it comes down to the way that you emote, right? The way that you feel, the way you take things in, the way you attract things, the way you send good vibes out and attract good vibes in. A lot of that is done in our heart space, but a lot of that is affected directly by our mind space, right? That's why these swords are inside of this heart. The swords represents thinking. So you're finding something out during this period in time, Virgo, that's kind of going to shed the light on some of the stinking thinking, right, that happens inside of our mind. And this thing that you find out about yourself and about the way your mental process works, like I said, is going to be like a flashlight. And you're going to see that once you start to begin to use this new tool that you're learning. Wow, I feel it. Like I see it so clearly. Some type of tool you're learning. It's kind of like you're getting a cheat code, Virgo. You are getting a level up right now. And I call level ups cheat codes, because inside of games, when you find something out about how to kind of like go against the rules, the natural rules that are in the game, it's like a cheat code. And you're able to do something that like defies the rules of the game. That's what's happening to you, Virgo. In so many words, that's happening inside of your mind. And you're going to start to see that you can use this tool, this flashlight that you're finding out about yourself, to shine the light on the areas that has been running in autopilot in your mind. And you're not going to want the autopilot to run anymore. It's crazy because I talked about this in the Aries reading. So you guys may want to check out the Aries reading. But I was talking about how the Aries was kind of like tapping into a place within their inner being where they were kind of coming to have a sit down with their inner oracle, or their inner operating system, right? Because a lot of, and I was kind of talking about what I'm talking about with you, except yours is happening on a mental level. The Aries, theirs was happening more on an intuitive level, you know? So they were kind of like going down into their intuitive mind. To you guys, it seems like you're going up into your mental world, because you guys are great thinkers. The Virgo is the thinker, is the analytical part of the zodiac that can put something together, take it all apart into pieces, and put it right back together, right? And knows where everything is supposed to go. They break everything down. Like, they break all the parts of their lives down into little pieces and review it and inspect it. And, you know, you guys think. So what's happening is that you're walking up on a compartment, a room that's inside of your mind. I'm seeing it. And in the midst of you doing this deep thought like you love to do, and kind of like doing all this introspection on yourself, you run across this flashlight that's sitting on the shelf inside of your attic, which is your mind. You're up in your attic, you know, and you were not even there to kind of like do any cleaning or anything like that. You were just kind of like looking around in your attic, right? Reviewing your memories, thinking about past moments, thinking about where you want to be in the future. That's what happens when we go up to our attic. But inside the attic, you find this flashlight. And you're like, what is this? I never saw this up here. You turn it on, and it gives you a new perspective of your attic. Something is happening where the light is being switched on. Definitely, Virgo. The light is being switched on, and now when it comes down to your mental process, when it comes down to your level of consciousness and level of being, you're seeing a new perspective take place. Now your mind and the way that your mind works and the way that your thoughts affect your whole being, you're starting to see that whole process, and it's going to make you start making some changes, right? Like, it's a shift that's happening, and it's going to affect your heart chakra. Because for some of you guys, I think that this mental process has been kind of like clogging up your heart chakra a little bit. The way that you emote, the way that you attract, you know, love into your life, the way you attract everything into your life. Me personally, I believe happens in our heart chakra. And maybe some other chakras, you know, the chakra that's in your belly. I forgot what it's called. Solar plexus. Yeah, your solar plexus is definitely important. But without the heart chakra being online and being totally open to some things you can't attract into your world. And so you're going to start to see, and sorry I'm staying so long in this car, but you're going to start to see how your mental process has been the thing that's been kind of like blocking your heart chakra a little bit. And this new flashlight that you're finding, this new evolution of the mind, this new transformation that's taking place in your thoughts, is going to kind of like have you shed light on your thought process to change it, to kind of like take the broken record off from playing and let it stop for a second, and just, you know, bring some things of your being outside of autopilot. Because a lot of times, a lot of places in our being runs on autopilot until we choose to consciously be aware of it and deal with it and have enough power to be the person in the operational room that's controlling this process in our brain. Before that happens, before we shine the light on it, it just operates in the shadows on autopilot, because the shadow self is the part of our being that operates on autopilot. And I hope I'm not losing you guys, and I know I'm not, because you're Virgos. So that's what happened. What's happening with you guys, I think you could possibly be doing some shadow work, which sometimes is not that fun. But because you're choosing to do this shadow work, go down into the depths of your shadow self, you are finding a light. And you're turning on that light in your shadows so that you can come out of autopilot in a certain aspect of your mind that eluded you before. But now you're starting to see like, oh, I knew that it was something to explain the way that I act when it comes down to this or that. And you're finding out what that is. And you're finding out that all it was like a tape that was just running on autopilot, because that's all it could do until you came to change the tape, right? And I think you're changing the tape. Virgo, let's keep it moving. I don't even know where all that came from. We're 14 minutes in and I got stuck on one card. I guess you guys caught me in a great mood. This is why I hold off readings, Virgo, because if I can't give you a reading like this, I don't want to give you a reading. Sorry. Let's keep it moving. Queen of Wands. So this is the energy that you're taking on. Now, this was in your last reading also, I think. If it wasn't the Queen of Wands, it was either the King of Wands, or it was something about a court card that had a wand. I think it was the Queen of Wands. So you guys are still fired up and passionate about your pursuits. that you want to go after and you want to achieve. And so you're going after these things, but you're doing it in a way where you are attracting these things into your life. Like you're starting to see that you're using the law of attraction, and this is why you had to kind of like deal with a certain mental process that you're shining a light on, because that's also helping you to start to move in a way where you're attracting things. Because the Queen of Wands is fiery, she's passionate, she goes into and pursues the things that she wants to bring into her world and her life, but she does it in a way to where she attracts it. Like, she uses her attractiveness to bring the things into her world. She's the social butterfly. She collaborates with other people to get things done, to get her projects finished. She connects with other people. It's kind of like she brings her social butterfly vibe into the room, but at the same time, she moves strategically. So she's thinking about something that she can get accomplished, and she goes around people, and then they help her like get things accomplished, because but at the same time, it's hard to explain the Queen of Wands. At the same time, she doesn't get any like handouts, because the Queen of Wands is like the #1 card for the person that gets it out the mud. But because she has come to a certain level of getting things out the mud and getting things from the bottom of the bottom, now she has learned how to attract certain things into her life and to use the law of attraction, so that she doesn't have to just go out and just build every single little thing because she's so used to doing that, But the Queen of Wands comes to a place where she's just able to start attracting it, because she's done the work on those bottom levels. She's done her inner work so much so that she could come to a place to where now she's just using the law of attraction. She learns how to work smart, not hard. And that's the process that's happening within your inner workings, Virgo. You're learning that, and you're still taking on that energy of wanting to be passionate about your pursuits, but you're attracting what you need into your life, the new beginning that you want. The page of Wands here is representing this new beginning that the Queen of Wands is thinking about right now. She wants to go into this new beginning. This new beginning of what she is passionate about right now, what she wants to pursue. She wants to pursue something new. She has her eyes set on. So you have your eyes set on something new that you want to begin, that you want to build, that you want to see flourish, that you want to see come into fruition. You know what it is. You have the vision about it. You've envisioned it. You've thought about it. You've, came up with a plan, and you're actively pursuing it once again in this reading. So I like that, Virgo. You have the passion, you have the wands, you're going after your pursuits, and everything that was kind of like holding you back within your mind, you're even dealing with that. You're even going to war with the thoughts and the thought processes that hold us back from getting what we want out of life. Let's keep it moving, because the Queen of Wands is looking over here also at this World card. The World card represents a new cycle. Let's go, Virgo. The World card represents a closing off of one cycle and the beginning of a new cycle coming in. It represents a total transformation. A transformation of the mind. That's what I was feeling too, that evolution of the mind. So this is an evolutionary period for you, is what I feel, Virgo. Like, you are taking on some attributes that are even surprising yourself. It's like you're taking on some attributes that are not kind of like connected to a Virgo, to be honest. It's like, because you're showing up as the Queen of Wands, which is not an earth sign. The Queen of Wands is a fire sign. So you're starting to maybe see a more fiery nature about yourself, a more passionate nature about yourself that's not, just being passive, that's going after things and being progressive, right? That's not the word I wanted to use. I wanted to use proactive. This time period that you're in right now, you are proactive about a lot of things. Like, you're getting yourself into a certain attunement, a certain motion, to where you can attract certain things into your life because you're making proactive moves. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, about how a lot of us look at superstars, or we look at, let's say, great athletes, and we see the things that they do, or, it could be anybody, a performer, just somebody that that is leveled up and that has kind of got to a place of greatness with their skill or their craft. And we look at what they do and they almost seem like mutants to us. Like they almost seem like they're not human. Some of the things that they pull off, like how are you able to do? What? Did you make that shot from half court? How did you hit that note when you were singing that note on the stage and you just hit that note? How did you make that performance? How did you pull off this acting, this movie that you won an Oscar for? And how did you take on that role and become this person? How did you do it? Right? And we look at them from the outside looking in and we're kind of like, dang, like they must be like mutants. They must be like highly blessed. They must be, just not like regular people. But that's way far from the truth. It's like they are regular people. All they have done is proactively worked on themselves and mastered their craft and perfected, themselves through so much training that now it looks like it just happens by luck or it's a miracle. Right? You're getting into this phase of your life, Virgo, where you're understanding that. You're understanding that everything that you have to perfect in your life, everything you have to build in your life, you have to be proactive about it. And you have to train for it. And you have to get in the gym. Right? You have to build it from the ground up. And you understand that everything that you want in your future is going to come from the amount of work that you put into it, the amount of work you consistently put into it, and you consistently having it in your mind and envisioning it and being passionate about it and feeling it and wanting it. And that's the law of attraction, right? You're kind of like getting your whole being involved with the things that you want in life now, which has to do with your mind, your heart, your solar plexus, with everything, all of your chakras. Your third eye, your crown chakra, your throat chakra. Like, you're getting everything into alignment is what I'm feeling. And this is kind of creating a new evolutionary period in your world right now that you're stepping into, and it has to do with a transformation. It has to do with you being more vulnerable, when it comes down to what you want out of life, who you are as a person. It has to do with you tapping into who you are as a person, kind of like knowing thyself. Because this person in the picture has come out of a portal, has come through a cycle that she really had to learn who she was as a person. And now she's able to be totally vulnerable with who she is as a person and accept the parts of herself, that maybe she didn't accept before. Maybe that parts of herself scared her before, And now she's in total acceptance of who she is. She's done that deep shadow work. She's went into her attic and found that flashlight. She done, she like went into the depths of her shadow and kind of like shined the light on it. And now the transformation comes and she comes out of this cycle into the world and presents herself to the world. This is what is going on with some of you Virgos, right? You're leveling up, and I like it. You're also tapping into your inner strength. You have the strength card here with the world card. So that new cycle is opening up for you. A new portal is opening up for you that, is transforming the way that people view you and the way you view yourself. Because you transform the way you view yourself, people are viewing you differently. And that's how it works. People can only mirror back to us the way we feel about ourselves. So however you feel about yourself, that's how people are going to see you. That's just the way that it works. But you're seeing yourself differently now. That's what's happening with that flashlight. You're shining the light on a part of yourself and seeing a part of yourself that maybe you haven't seen in a long time because it's been up in the attic and people don't go into their attics that much. But because you're turning on the light up there, you're able to see like a different side of yourself, like in a different you is emerging from out of the shadows. Let's go. You're tapping into your inner strength, awakening that inner fortitude and bringing it up from the depths out into the open. Keeping it moving. We're 24 minutes in, Virgo. This feels like a good reading to me. Two of Pentacles. All right, so this to me feels like, because it's clarified by the devil card, you're balancing out those inner demons. Let's go. Now, our inner demons stand at the gates of wherever our treasure is. So before you can get your treasure in life, you have to face your demon, your inner demon. It's a quote that goes like that, and you can go look it up. It's in some book that I read maybe years ago, and that was the deepest thing that I ran into. And it said that, you know, your demons guard your greatest treasure. And until you can come and confront your demons and get past your demons, you know, you can't get into your greatest gift, your greatest treasure in life. Right? So right now you're dealing with that. You're doing this shadow work. Like, this is a shadow work reading for you is what I'm feeling. You're learning how to balance out the parts of you that, you know, how can I say this? There's another saying that says you never really get rid of your demons. You just understand how to live with them. That's what you're doing. You're understanding that the parts of you that you thought were your inner demons are actually just another side of who you are. And it's a part of you. You can't expel it. You can't banish it. It's just a part of you. And so instead of you trying to expel it and banish it out of your world and get rid of it and cut it off, you're understanding how to come into balance with it. You're understanding how to live with it. Right? Because some demons that we have, they're never going anywhere. Unfortunately. Like, the only thing that happens is we learn how to live with them. And that may sound crazy, you know, but it's more symbology more than anything. It's more symbolic. You know, your demons represent your fears. It represents your anxieties. It represents, you know, the parts of you that sabotage yourself, that you're afraid of. Right? But within that, within those fears are actually our greatest. Our greatness is tied up inside of our fears and anxieties. So you can't get rid of them, because on the flip side of your fear is your strength, right? On the flip side of your weakness is your greatest strength. On the flip side of your greatest fear is like your greatest ability to be courageous. So you're kind of dealing with that and learning that right now. Or that's what the cards are saying that the universe is trying to do with you right now. Teach you how to come into balance with those different things that, you know, you're trying to deal with and work through. The devil card represents our addictions. It represents, you know, the dark side of ourselves, the lower nature. Right? And the lower nature exists in us, just like the night exists at nighttime. You know, you can't have the daytime without the nighttime. You can't have your higher self without your lower self. You can't have your yin without your yang. It's balanced. So, but you're balancing out your yin and yang energy, right? By doing shadow work. So right now you're focused on your lower self and how you can clear out some of the addictions, some of the, you know, dark energy. How you can deal with it and understand it more so that it doesn't affect you in an adverse way. Right? So you're bringing the flashlight, you know, right here. You're bringing consciousness into the darkness and doing that shadow work, the balancing of the light and dark energy. Definitely. Let's keep it moving. We're 28 minutes in, and I'm trying to have this done by 30 minutes, but it's not going to happen. Futuristic energy, Virgo. 4 of Wands. Then we have the Chariot card. Then we have the 5 of Cups, and then the 8 of Cups, right? So 4 of Wands right here, you're thinking about some stability, some longevity, some milestones that you want to reach in life. You could be in your future energy, in your near future, coming up on some milestones, like doing something in life that you're just proud of yourself for doing and making it to a plateau, a place where you're just like, wow, I finally got here. Wow, I finally did something. Like, I can celebrate this. Right? For some of you guys, it could represent you coming into a relationship with somebody, or just thinking about wanting to be in a place where you can have that stability, that relationship that is stable with someone. Right? But it's mostly, to me, is representing just a level of stability you want to have within your life, because the Four of Wands, the number 4, represents stability. And it's something that you want to build, that is stable, because the wands represent your pursuits, the things you work on. All right, and then you have that clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. So this is going to be greatly affecting your coins. So I think this milestone that you want to reach in the near future has to do with your money. Because in your last reading, Virgo, it was almost everything about money. Pentacles, pentacles, pentacles. You have it once again. Right? So you're wanting to get to a place where you're established financially. You want to get to a place of financial freedom. You want to get to a place of where you don't have to worry about your finances and they're stable. So that's coming for you in the near future. That's going to be a milestone that you're getting and embarking on. Right below that, we have the Chariot card. So you're moving forward. You're moving fast and quickly into the future because you found a level of balance. Because you're doing all this inner work and the universe is bringing it to you to deal with. That's going to directly affect the way you can efficiently move into the future. The Chariot card represents forward movement. It represents speed. You being able to leave one place of being and go into the other. And do it in a balanced way, because the Chariot card represents what I was just talking about earlier. You balancing the yin and the yang, the female principle and the masculine principle, the higher self and the lower self, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. You mastering your duality, so you can get off the emotional roller coaster. That's what I call it. When you're out of balance, you go way up high and then you go way down low. And then you go way up high again and then you come way down low again. But that's you learning how to balance everything within yourself. Right? Balancing the highs and the lows until you get to a place of balance. And now it's no more highs and lows. It's just forward movement. Let's go forward. Right? So you're taking on that Empress energy, because you're coming with this new level of balance, this internal balance that you've worked on, and you're becoming the Empress. The Empress is very fertile. She can grow anything. She can make anything happen inside of her world. She's also very creative. She's also very spiritual. She's also very nurturing. This is the mother of the tarot. So your balance is making you move forward into a position where you're taking on that Empress energy. Creative, spiritual, fertile, nurturing, powerful. Empress card. She's a ruler. She is the female emperor. Right? So she's ruling with the female principle, which doesn't have anything to do with gender, but it has more so to do with the yin energy, right? Just like what I was talking about the Queen of Wands. Like using the level, your attractiveness, how you can attract things into your world. Because that's what the feminine principle does. And then we have the Five of Cups. Now this could represent some type of regret that you had in the past, where you were kind of like crying over spilled milk. That's what the Five of Pentacles is, or Five of Cups is for me. Someone crying over spilled milk and regretting the things that didn't work out for them in the past. And this is the energy that I believe you're dealing with, because you move on from the Five of Cups into the Ten of Cups. So there's no need to cry about spilled milk that didn't happen in the past when we're moving into a time period that we're getting the Ten of Cups, which represents emotional fulfillment, happiness, right? The things in our world that actually completes us, that makes us feel like, wow. It makes me think about that song with Bruno Mars and Gucci Man and what's the other guy? Kodak Black, if you're into rap like that. But Kodak Black, if you listen to his verse, he was like, he was at a place in life where he felt like he could fly. He was also at a place of life where he felt like he could die, right? Because he felt that fulfillment. This is where you're headed to. That kind of fulfillment where you're like, wow, like I have it. This is what I wished for in the past. right? So the disappointments of the past are a thing of the past. Now you're moving forward in that chariot energy, that balanced energy to your 10 of cups, right? Your emotional fulfillment. You're also moving away from something. So you having the 8 of cups here, that's you talking about moving away, moving on from something emotionally that maybe didn't work out in the past. Maybe something that you tried to build. You know, it could have been a relationship, or it could have been something that you just invested in emotionally that it drains you a lot emotionally, and you're choosing to move on from it, move away from it, be done with it once and for all, and move into something more newer. Now, because you're choosing to do that, for some of you guys, you're coming into a soulmate relationship. Definitely. Now, don't be surprised if that happens, because that is exactly what happens when people work on themselves. They become highly attractive. Now, if you're moving into the Empress energy, you're definitely going to be attractive, and you're going to have some suitors coming your way. And some of these suitors could have that soulmate energy, because maybe you're moving on from the past, you know, from something emotionally that had you drained, that you tried to build up, you tried to pour into, and you're done pouring into that. That's going to free you up for some type of soulmate attraction coming in the near future. Maybe February. It is Valentine's, but I hate to be the one that's, you know, what do they call it? Like, it's cliche. I don't want to be a cliche for February. So I'm just saying, though, this is what the cards are saying, right? For other people, this could be you moving away from a soulmate connection that you had in the past, that you tried to pour into and work with, but nothing just came from it. Nothing came about because of it. So you're choosing to move away, you know, from it and go and maybe do your own thing. So vice versa is a general reading. Some of you guys could be walking away from a soulmate connection. Some of you guys could be walking away from a place where you didn't have a soulmate connection into a soulmate connection, because you have done the internal work on yourself. So that's future for you guys. And I'm going to wrap it up right there for you, Virgo. It's been a beautiful reading. We're 37 minutes in, and this was my gift to you because I was so late, right? So for a lot of you guys, this could go on past these energies that I'm feeling could go on past these next couple of days. Definitely, because this is only going to be from the 28th to the 31st for you, you know, but because energy is fluid, it can go a lot longer than that, right? Or it could just be your wrap up for January, and I'm going to be right back with a reading for you for February, Virgo. But I'll end it right there. Thank you guys for tuning in, especially if you made it this far in the reading. If you want to get a more personal clarity reading with me, you can email me. Also, go follow me on IG, Chris Anthony. I forgot my IG name. Sorry, it's in the description. I think it's Chris because I just changed it, but I think it's Chris Anthony, 14 pounds, 14 LBS. Check me out. I would love to connect with you guys on another platform and talk about something maybe other than tarot, right? Until later, Virgo, have a nice month.